Please keep your ears available for the rapping styles of
We got the deal.
Woo! I'm so high.
We black and dark and still beautiful.
Bleach my skin.
My family need to come up, cause we famous, so we
Donald
hunger.
Trump refers to as shithole country.
Fellas in books of obituary. You should be worried.
Another life claimed by the police? No.
My cousin's gay and my uncle's a pedophile, but guess which one brings the family more shit?
It gotta stop, cause I damn near scream in public.
You ever sink your head under that bathtub water, hold your breath in.
And you can keep your pennies, cause my thoughts are priceless.
When I say CC, you say P. CC. CC. When I say drop the, you say Mike. Drop the. Mike. Drop the. Mike. When I say I love, you say poetry. I love. Poetry. I love. Poetry. Give it up for drop the mic. Let's get it started.
Yeah, so
This is season 5.
This is season 5,
It's season 5 of Drop the Mic.
and we are 3 Emmy nominations deep.
We coming for the Emmy.
We going for the 4th one.
Bro, it was real hard to get this far. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
In Young Guns, a story about a boy who carries himself to blend into his environment in order to hide from his perils, but misunderstood by those who view his life from the outside in. In the beginning of Young Guns, you explained the bullet pretending to penetrate his flesh with every step comes the invitation to death.
The bullet pretending to penetrate his flesh with every step comes the invitation to death. So tempted to snatch his young, sweet breath, so young, so fresh, so naive. To him, life is still make-believe. He dons his chain as a badge of honor to show how brave he is against this wicked world.
Your commitment to change is an indication of a relentless mind of one who reads between the lines of those who act as if everything is okay and they need not of any help.
His own family, community ignores him. We close our eyes and ears and pretend we can't hear his cries for help. This little boy is wearing a bullet on a chain. He's got murder on the brain, flesh filled with pain, about to sign his little life over to death. And you, us, we don't care enough. This is a walking time bomb and you're calling him bluff. Wake up, wake up.
It takes a strong, open mind to think outside the box when judging a person on their appearance and giving them the help or attention they may need.
But there is a price, and that price is your baby's life. It's sad to say, but today our young people can't even outlive mice.
Only those who look in from the outside of his life can see that death is conspiring on his life.
A little boy is wearing a bullet on a chain. A little boy is wearing a bullet on a platinum chain. Death is coming around the corner like a runaway train, and this kid is strapped to the tracks. As we turn our backs, inside he's yelling for help while we only think of ourselves. It's just not fair.
In this case, helping this child out can save the lives of another if he has a strong-minded person to show him the right path.
This bullet is hungry for his young, sweet flesh. God bless. Will you save him? Will you save him? Or will you deliver him to death?
All of your poems express a deep love that's either needed or being committed to give. Your commitment, strong mind, and love you put into your work is a major mindset that young minorities should idolize, and that is why you are my favorite poet.
Please keep your ears available for the rapping styles of
We got the deal.
Woo! I'm so high.
We black and dark and still beautiful.
Bleach my
My
skin.
family need to come up, cause we famous, so we
Donald
hunger.
Trump refers to as shithole country.
Fellas in books of obituary.
You should be worried.
Another life claimed by the police? No.
My cousin's gay and my uncle's a pedophile, but guess which one brings the family more shame?
It gotta stop, cause I damn near scream in public.
You ever sink your head under that bathtub water, hold your breath in?
And you can keep your pennies because my thoughts are priceless.
When I say CC, you say P. CC. CC. When I say drop the, you say Mike. Drop the. Mike. Drop the. Mike. When I say I love, you say poetry. I love. Poetry. I love. Poetry. Give it up for Drop the Mic. Let's get it started.
It's season 5 of Drop the Mic.
And this is season 5 of Drop the Mic.
It's season 5 of Drop the Mic.
Season 5, Drop the Mic.
And I'm gonna stay with the crown.
And I'm completely humbled to be here.
And the air conditioner is on frigid.
Congratulations, we made it this far.
And we going for the Emmy this time. Yeah. Word.
Dear Katzy Villefon, Drop the Mic was a special opportunity. I am glad I was able to stay for the second auditions. However, I appreciated you the most because of your performance during Drop the Mic, your courage, and your pride as an Asian American. First, I appreciated your guest performance the most because of your determination to perform during the 5th season of Drop the Mic second audition. You decided to make a guest appearance, although you hadn't performed in a while.
I am a child of refugees. I am a refugee. I was born in a refugee camp. And so a lot of the work that I do in my poetry is based on talking about those stories.
Your poem, You Bring Out the Louse in the House, which was about the troubles that you and your culture faced with discrimination.
You bring out the louse in the house. Not the Southeast Asian, not the French Indochina, not the Laos or the Laos, but the louse in the house. You bring out my best features, keep my hair dark and my skin tan. You bring out my taste for lemongrass and ginger, my affinity for elephants like the one tattooed on the back of my neck.
What I took from the poem was that it was about racism and people being too prejudiced.
You bring out the interpreter in me, well, when or if there's someone to interpret for. In finding a reason just to say anything, I sometimes eavesdrop on the next best thing. Thai people. Just to claim I can understand what you're saying, I just can't talk back.
What really caught my attention that day was your duet with Dr. Myers. When you performed Listen Asshole, I was shocked because I thought we were only going to be able to hear half of the poem because of censorship. Your performance. Your message was strong and empowering.
Listen, asshole, my words were meant to be mentioned in meticulous and ruthless manner, yet you're mispronouncing mental, you must fucked it all up by meanings, misuse, miscommunication, misconstrued, misinterpreted, mismake, motherfucker, that makes me mad.
Listen, asshole, stop trying to guess what I am. Stop trying to tell me what I'm not.
Another thing I appreciated about your courage was your ability to display the problems of prejudice through your poems. A line I would quote from You Bring Out the Louse in the House is, up until now, you've never known about louse, which in turn brings out the ignorance in you.
As well as a series of guesses that strangely always follows this order. Wait, let me guess what you are, because I'm really good at guessing people by their ethnicity just by looking at them. You're Filipino? No, okay, hold on. Hawaii? You're Hawaii. Okay, last chance. You're Thai? No?
What
then
the
what the fuck are you then?
I admired this quote because of your courage to confront racism without hiding any lingering thoughts. This made me appreciate your powerful words even more, and in conclusion, I appreciate the courage you put into your poem. In the poem, you said, I will not take Kathy, Cassie, or Cassidy as a substitute. It's Katsy.
My name, don't mispronounce it. It's not Kathy, Cassie, or Cassidy. It's Katsy. And so what? If it was a mispronounced byproduct of my mother's native tongue, dancing with an American dream, she gave up half her life, traveled halfway around the world for this. So yeah, I do mind standing here for half a minute just because you can't get it.
I admire your love for your mother and the fact that you are willing to stand up for the name that she gave you. Another line I would like to quote is, by forgetting or just not thinking about me, you force me to remind you.
You force me to remind you, but by referencing or just questioning me, you force me to remember myself.
I like this quote because you appreciate your culture and your heritage. However, racism can also help you remember who you are and where you came from. In conclusion, I appreciated your pride to stand up for who you are and to help me realize that racism can also help people remember their roots.
This poem is just as much about you as it is about me. Thank you.
Sincerely, Kevin Sang.
Please keep your ears available for the rapping styles of
We got it down.
Woo, I'm so high.
We black and dark and still beautiful.
Bleach my
My
skin.
family need to come up, cause we famous, so we
Donald
hungry.
Trump refers to as shithole country.
Fellas in books of obituary. You should be worried.
Another life claimed by the police? No.
My cousin's gay and my uncle's a pedophile, but guess which one brings the family more shame?
It gotta stop, cause I damn near scream in public.
You ever sink your head under that bathtub water, hold your breath in.
And you can keep your pennies because my thoughts are priceless.
When I say CC, you say P. CC. CC. When I say drop the, you say Mike. Drop the. Drop the. When I say I love, you say poetry. I love. I love. Give it up for drop the mic. Let's get it started.
This is season 5.
This is season 5.
It's season 5 of Drop the Mic.
I need y'all to show some appreciation to these poets. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Drop the mic.
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 Dear Marquise, I never understood why poetry was so important to others. I myself found poetry to be boring until I attended the Drop the Mic showcases, where I heard so many real stories and feelings expressed in poems. You are the poet that I most appreciated on Drop the Mic because of your strong messages, the energy you gave to your performance, and most of all, the honesty in your poems. For example, at the final showcase of Drop the Mic, when you talked about how some members of your family judged a family member who is homosexual instead of the other family member who is a sexual predator.
So, my cousin's gay and my uncle's a pedophile, but guess which one brings the family more shame? Guess which one invites more silence in the house on holidays and on Christmas? You can hear an ornament shatter and decorate the floor with all the beautiful things left unsaid. Guess which one gets more jokes?
You wanted to show that people should open their eyes to what's truly horrific, the child molester whose secret family members keep. But then they will openly denigrate a family member for being gay because they believe that different is dangerous, as you said in one of your lines.
But guess who they gonna pray for? Who they saved a seat for, who they marked a place on the pew for, granting front row access to salvation they know he needs, who the devil must have a hold on because no soul can sin like that and think himself a righteous thing.
This is significant to me because I strongly disagree with judging others just because some people are attracted to other people of their own sex. Another reason you are the poet that I most appreciated on Drop the Mic is because of your positive energy in each performance.
My cousin still loves even when the ocean dries up. Still walk like divinity never faltered because his crucifiers ain't got shackles strong enough to bind him, he free. He is a symphony of magic writing itself without the conductor's permission to exist.
For example, when you performed the poem about men disrespecting women, your energy was full of confidence.
I wonder what it's like to love sex but hate women.
In each line, you used a loud voice and agitated hand gestures to express your disagreement with the disrespect women get from some men.
I wonder what it's like to put bros and money and status before hoes. When hoes become the priority, you get mad because they don't want to be chose.
Your positive energy, to me, is important because it helped me imagine your poem in my head and break it down to understand it. Finally, the reason you are the poet that I most appreciated on Drop the Mic is because of your honesty in your lines.
After the murder of Janice Talton Jackson.
In one of your poems, you stated, I wonder what it's like to be one of today's men that loves his mama, but assaults women that look just like her.
Buried in, I wonder what it's like to be one of today's men that loves his mama but assaults women that look just like her. Women that have to lace a prayer in their nose because rejection is an act of war these days. What it's like to be owed nothing but own a rage that tells you otherwise and puts a target in your gaze. I wonder what it's like to have double standards.
Speaking from your perspective as a man who thinks other men who disrespect women is wrong showed me your honesty, and I really admired that. Because of your honesty, you are the poet I most appreciate.
The first place winner and champion of the 5th anniversary season of Drop the Mic is Marquise.
Yes. Most of all, I can't wait for another Drop the Mic season and see you perform once again. Congrats! You really deserve that first place. Sincerely, Rosalinda de los Santos.
Please keep your ears available for the rapping styles of
We got it down.
Woo, I'm so high.
We black and dark and still beautiful.
Bleach my
My
skin.
family need to come up, cause we famous, so we
Donald
hungry.
Trump refers to as shithole country.
Fellas in books of obituary. You should be worried.
Another life claimed by the police? No.
My cousin's gay and my uncle's a pedophile, but guess which one brings the family more shame?
It gotta stop, cause I damn near scream in public.
You ever sink your head under that bathtub water, hold your breath in.
And you can keep your pennies because my thoughts are priceless.
When I say CC, you say P. CC. CC. When I say drop the, you say Mike. Drop the. Drop the. When I say I love, you say poetry. I love. I love. Give it up for Drop the Mic. Let's get it started.
Welcome to season 5 of Drop the Mic, where art imitates life.
You don't like the way that your life is designed? Drop the mic, change your actions, or change your mind.
Come see the stars shine bright on season 5 of Drop the Mic.
I won't act, just be me. On the 1, 2 to the 3. Drop the mic.
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 Mr. Ross, in my eyes, your work with poetry is filled with the potential to change minds.
I never seen a man love a woman the way that my father loved my mother.
All poetry seems the same nowadays, but the poems that you performed on Drop the Mic really made me think. Your poems broadened my mind to the problems shielded by closed minds, as expressed in your poem, Learn to Love, when you mentioned he struggled, but he made it known that his commitment was lifelong, which for me had meant that many people block out the things that cause them problems in preventing more heartaches.
Their fairy tale came true with the broke down 4-door Ford automatic. Baby, it ain't much I can afford, but trust me, there's gold in our marriage. I want to learn to love like that. When she was in school, he held her down. When he was down, she held him up.
Your poems are strong and filled with love to help others who have gone through these problems. Every day I see people I know carry themselves to be intimidating, though in reality they are kind souls, too scared to express their internal self.
I want to learn to love like that, to love without regrets, to love without holding back, to love regardless despite the setback. Hey, you want to know what love is? Don't watch reality TV. Read reality weaved in the brilliant fabric of this couple's life work. Durable and double-threaded wound with 20 years worth of patchwork, and it was still sewing, still going, still growing together. I tell you, I want to learn to love like that.
Mr. Ross, in my eyes, your work with poetry is filled with the potential to change the minds of those who look the other way when someone is in need of a helping hand. In your poem, Learn to Love, you talked about a man who loved a woman so much he was more than willing to take on the responsibility of raising a child who wasn't his own.
He swept a single mom and her 2 babies off the ground out of the shadows of hopelessness. And as a little boy, all I could think was, God, his arms are strong. He struggled, but he made it known that his commitment was lifelong, because little boys need that from their dads. I'm glad he understood that it ain't easy to get a young boy that ain't yours to love you back.
Love is a word that not many people understand at first, until they find someone that commits themselves to showing what they feel it is to them. As shown in Learn to Love, when this man came into this woman's life and committed his love to her and her children, he struggled, but he made it known that his commitment was lifelong.
May not meet society standards, but he is her king still, his queen, keeping food and cash in a castle. Baby, I got you till we get back on our feet, no nagging, no hassle, because together we're going to fight this battle. I want to learn to love like that. I tell you, I want to learn mom. I want to learn dad. I want to learn how to love like that. Thank you.
Your commitment, strong mind, and love you put into your work is a major mindset that young minorities should idolize.
Please keep your ears available for the rapping styles of
We got the deal.
Woo, I'm so high.
Be black and dark and still beautiful.
Bleach my
My
skin.
family need to come up, cause we famous, so we
Donald
hunger.
Trump refers to as shithole country.
Fellas in books of obituary. You should be worried.
Another life claimed by the police? No.
My cousin's gay and my uncle's a pedophile, but guess which one brings the family more shame?
It gotta stop, cause I damn near scream in public.
You ever sink your head under that bathtub water, hold your breath in.
And you can keep your pennies because my thoughts are priceless.
When I say CC, you say P. CC. CC. When I say drop the, you say Mike. Drop the. Drop the. When I say I love, you say poetry. I love. I love. Give it up for Drop the Mic. Let's get it started.
This is season 5 of Drop the Mic.
It's season 5 of Drop the Mic.
Season 5, Drop the Mic.
And I'm gonna stay with the crown.
And I'm completely humbled to be here.
And the air conditioner is on frigid.
Congratulations, we made it this far.
And we going for the Emmy this time.
Yeah. Word.
Dear Marquise, I myself am not a fan of poetry. I never was. When I found out I had to watch poets perform for 3 hours straight, I thought to myself, this is going to be long and boring. That's not how it turned out, actually, because Drop the Mic changed my perspective on poetry greatly. In one poem, you expressed that black isn't just a color, it's who you are. That line touched me.
Black isn't just a color, it's who you are. And you confuse me. There's something about you that's not right here. Take this cookie cutter and carve yourself into something more recognizable. I need you to be more black for me.
You are the poet that I appreciated the most on Drop the Mic because of your performance, your message, and your honesty.
This don't look like me. Don't fit the description, makes me uncomfortable like a truth I wasn't ready for. Give me the black I am ready for. Ain't nobody ever told you that different is dangerous.
Your performance was absolutely fantastic. The way you performed not only with your voice, but with also your hand gestures. For example, when you said the line, tied to these damn strings, you pretended like your hands were tied as if you were being controlled. That put more impact into the performance.
What? You garnish, nigga? Don't want to be sandwiched between ever-closing walls? Who said you had an option? Who said you leave the rest of us here on stage tied to these damn strings? You too good for this? No tolerance for the song? And dance and repeat song? And dance and repeat? A broken record is not your style. It's standard, too stale for you. Who told you you could be free?
How you claimed your voice by making your voice rise and fall at various points in your performance was awesome because it put a lot of feeling into perspective.
You're making me uncomfortable hiding your black in plain sight like that. You were born with the black card for a reason. Use it. That should be your only form of identification. I mean, why would you want to displace the ghetto from your smile in the first place? Ain't your ribcage still a housing project for your tenant of a heart? Don't your blood aspire to be hood rich?
Your messages really captivated what is still happening in today's society. When you said the line, who told you you can play a part outside your role? It made me think a lot about how people judge others.
Makes you easily recognizable like you don't want to fit in, or I don't want to stand out. Who said you could play a part outside your role?
You raised my awareness about things I didn't know, because most of the time they go unseen. Getting on stage and portraying the messages you said can be uncomfortable, but you made it seem otherwise. You didn't hold back from what you had to say.
I need you to be more black for me. The right kind, not that alternative shit all entwined with things the hood has never called tradition. Conversing with assimilation, trying on new cultures like coats and falling in love with the texture. That's not us. Go find the stereotypes, go hand in hand with your melanin and tell them to come out to play. We don't want this. This don't look like me.
Marquise, I want to thank you for sharing your messages. They truly changed the way I looked at poetry. When you finished and walked off stage, all I thought about was your poem because it was so well written and well performed.
Who told you you could be so defiant? denying the typecasting like the typewriter was broke in the first place, disobeying the director, having out-of-character experiences, acting like that fourth wall wasn't built to box you in. Told you that you can be this way. Didn't you read the script?
Finally, you were the best performer out of all the contestants, simply because of the way you performed, how your messages touched me, and also how honest you were. Best wishes in life, Anthony DeFrancesco.